Hey doll fans, the doll scholar is back, and I wanted to share with you a technique that I've been doing to suede my dolls. I've been sueding them with real suede, and I love it. I actually did this kind of a while back, and I was really delayed in telling you. I apologize. This is Lina, and she just got a brand new face up yesterday, and I loved it so much I went ahead and I glued her eyelashes in, and I just love her. I love her. She's one who got sueded, but anyway, so there she is. She's a little bit more model-esque than she was before. You can see all these photos on my Flickr. I just put brand new photos of her on my Flickr. You can also see the photo of her first face up on my Flickr too. I hadn't really showed her in videos since then, but she went through 2 face-ups. And I'm so pleased. The one thing that I think I might add is that I think she needs some moles, because I think she just looks like she has the kind of skin that might have moles. So I still might just add those. Oops! There goes her wig. Moving on, I want to show you her sueding, and I want to recommend this to you. Let's see if I can see there. There's a little padding of suede in there, and as you can see, it doesn't go all the way around the string hole. It's just like a little bean shaped padding of this suede. I just love the results. I actually had to restring her so that she could be looser, so that it would be easier to take her head on and off, because that string just was not giving anymore when I got this body, so there was no putting heads on. So I got some brand new string from the Junkie Spot, and the Junkie Spot is my favorite place to buy string because I've been having trouble with the string size. Like when I measure string, what I come out with is 4 millimeters. I feel like that's the string you need for an SD. And I've bought string from 2 different people, one in America, one in China, one on Etsy, one on eBay, 2 very different stores, and I've ordered 4 millimeter, but when it got here it was really thin, and I registered it to be 3 millimeter, but the Junkie Spot actually sends the thick stuff that I need that registers on my ruler to be 4 millimeter. So therefore I have to recommend the Junkie Spot to you. I felt like her legs weren't going to be sturdy enough, so I figured I'll go ahead and put some suede in her joints, because I went ahead and I did Lyska, and I loved the result. My bird's over there screaming, so I apologize. So yeah, there it is again. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let me show this other side. I do try to match it up. There you go. I chose this leather because it's thin, so try to get something thin, and I would get either white or pale, something pale, because I figure why not match it to the doll's skin tone? Because if it shows, you don't want it to look too obnoxious, and I think if you use black, it might stain the doll up real good, because they use a lot of dye in that leather. So something like this is good. It may or may not match the doll. It depends how you want it to look. You know, I try to hide it so that it doesn't stick out of here or anything, just in case I ever want to pose my dolls nude. So that might depend. You may or may not care if it shows. And what I would do is I would take the doll apart, and then I would put the leg in the socket and sort of bend it and flex it and kind of see how the 2 parts rub together, and then that's when I would decide where to put the leather or suede, where to place it. You know, you want to get it where it rubs best, and don't worry about cutting out like this perfect little circle and stringing it on. Don't bother with that. I wouldn't, so I don't think you should either. So yeah, I just like to cut out neat little shapes that conform to whatever's happening in there. I did it to her arm too, but her arms still aren't like the best. They don't really keep. So what her arms need is some wire. But boy, her legs are certainly sturdy. There you go, her knees go before her legs. And I don't worry about her. I didn't do her knees because it doesn't like fit down in there. Her knees are good enough. They still work the way I like. They lock into place really good, so I don't worry about that. And sometimes their joints are just so perfectly flush with each other that you can't fit any extra leather in there. So, and I use hot glue to put it in. And if you have leather like me that has a smooth side, I've found in my experiences that hot glue doesn't like to bond to this smooth side. So what I would do is take a little X-Acto knife and just score it. You know, when you cut out your little piece and then score it. So then the glue can grab onto those little scratch marks that you made. And then you want this part to rub against the resin other part. And so that's how you do that. So it's real easy, and I use a low heat glue gun. And this is the one that caused me the real trouble. Lyska. Ever since he was brand new and had just arrived, he never wanted to sit up on his own. I always had to balance him on his hands, like prop him up on his hands like that. I had to push his torso forward like that so he can balance forward, but I never really trusted it. So one day when I was fed up with his legs not wanting to like stay put, I said I'm going to use real suede to suede this one. So I took him apart and I gave him some fresh string from the junkie spot, and then I decided how all these parts rub together. And I added suede. As you can see, I put a lot of suede in that piece. And I also put it in that piece. And basically that's that. So now he can totally stand up real good. Look, I can hold him by his leg. And he just doesn't budge. He can stand really well. He always stood better than he could sit, but now look, see, he can sit. He could never do that before now. He was just loose as a goose. Now he can sit. And I'm so pleased. So I think that everyone should try using real suede to suede their dolls. I haven't tried to remove it, of course, but I know that the resin is really smooth and the hot glue can peel off of it. So therefore I'm not worried about it being too permanent or something. I actually want it to be permanent because like he works now. So I never want it to come out. But just in case I ever did want it to come out, I have faith that it will come out. I have been unhappy with regular hot glue sueding. I've been doing that ever since Rivo, and I've really only done it to resin sold dolls. I've never done it to one of these other company dolls because they've usually been pretty good. Of course, until Lyska came along and Kid couldn't even sit up on his own. So, and what I really didn't like about the hot glue sueding was that when the parts would rub together a lot, it would just like come peeling out. It would just come right out, and I was like, oh, why? So now I really don't think that the leather will come out quite as easily. You know, we'll find out, but I think it's much better than hot glue sueding. I did his arm too, but the problem is that his arm isn't really even touching it. Oh sure, yeah, it's working now that I'm on camera trying to prove that it doesn't work. But his arm actually came out pretty loose. See, there you go. Whew. It's not really working in his arm, so maybe I'm not sure how to fix that. But so I guess his arm could be better. This one, I think, this one's a little better, but not quite. Maybe not. Yeah. I wanted to share with you guys this awesome method of sueding. I love it. I'm always going to use leather sueding from now on. The next person in line for it is my Soom Sabik. I just named him Yuha. Just so you know. I'll talk about that more later. But he's next. He could definitely use it. So, and eventually I'm going to let all my dolls have suede in their joints. And then I think Lamb Rain will be next too, because he's getting a little bit loose. He's getting kind of old. Right, that's it. Now, check out my Flickr if you want to see all my photos. That's where I do photos. I don't do Instagram because I don't have a phone. I have an Instagram account, but there's no photos on it. So anyway, you know, my Flickr is still called Troll Blood Dolls, by the way. So anyway, yeah. Have a great day. Who stole my sandwich?